and welcome to another episode of Shakes and Fidget free-to-play playthrough. In today's episode, we're gonna go through Arena Manager feature, which I have actually unlocked in the free-to-play character quite a long time ago, but since I did not have time to record the episode, I actually did not do anything specific on it. I mean, I did upgrade the attractions, but as you can see, I did not rest it. I have here 0 runes piled up, but I will explain why I did not do it. And yet, on another side, well, one of the reasons I did not do it is because I wanted to do it for this episode. But there is also a reason or a time slot when you should do the sacrifice because of the way how the arena manager and how these bonuses work. If you like this type of content, please don't forget to subscribe to get the notifications when a new episode is out as well. Don't forget to like and leave a comment below if you like this type of content and if you want to see more of this content. But let's go to the episode itself and let's go to the arena manager. So the arena manager is a feature which is unlocked at level 105 and it's unlocked automatically, so you don't have to fulfill any other requirement except being level 105, and you would get it automatically accessed. The point of the arena manager is that it gives you boosts to your stats in a different variety of different runes which you can have on your items. In order to have the bonus, you actually need to have a specific amount or a specific percentage of the runes bonus, which you can see in this here level, and only in case that you have collected more than 100 or more runes, it says here, then you will get the items with the rune enchantments. We will go through the rune enchantments in a few seconds, but just to explain how exactly the arena manager works. So first off, as you can see, we have in total 10 different attractions, and each one of them is, of course, better than the previous one in terms of the amount of money sort of that it collects. However, it also takes more time to collect the money. As you can see, the first one, it takes 31 seconds, but the second one takes 2.5 minutes to collect the amount of money, but it also gives you 9 times the amount of money which is collected. And this money you actually use to upgrade the attractions themselves. Here you need to note that this feature employs one of the most common um, features or approaches which mobile games usually have, and this is the prestige system, which is the sacrifice here. And the idea of the arena manager is that you would build up the attractions until you gather enough runes to sacrifice. Once you sacrifice, the runes go to your rune pool, let's call it like this, which gives you actually the increased arena income, 5% per rune. So in my case scenario, I have 56 times 5%, you would get whatever 100%, 250 actually, 250% increase, even 280 increase of the income. So this is the idea of how you can sort of build up arena manager or arena in this case scenario. The thing here to note is that you need to consider when it makes sense to sacrifice, because if you, let's say, sacrifice on one rune, and in the beginning, getting runes is really problematic. So if you sacrifice on one rune, you would get only 5%. The problem is that this 5% does not have a impact on the amount of money you are earning because of the amount of um, change it gives you to the money. So you actually need to consider that each 20 rune actually gives you the boost of the money, because 20 runes means 100%, which means it will double the amount of money which you earn here. and at the sort of lower levels, this actually has an impact on the amount of money you are earning. So the first time you would sacrifice is at 20. Unfortunately, I since I was waiting to record the episode, I did not sacrifice at 20. Now the best approach would be to wait until 60. However, I want to show you how it works. So in this case scenario, I will sacrifice at 56. Do not do that, do it at 60. Later on, you can actually sacrifice more often because the amount of runes you will be earning would be measured in millions or more. So in this case scenario, you can sacrifice because each one of them will have the impact on the money earned and also on the runes, rune enchantments, which you can get on the items themselves. Back to the attractions quickly is just, as I said, there are 10 of them, each one of them being, let's say, earning more money than the previous one and also taking more time. But the two best ones are the last two ones. And these two ones are the ones which bring you the most amount of money for the time they're doing, sort of like, say, when you consider the ratio of the amount of money in the time. And the main strategy which usually people employ is that in the beginning, once you unlock all of the attractions, is that you would sacrifice every time that the last attraction one has one cycle. So for example, if it takes, I don't know, 4 hours, you would reset every 4 hours because this would give you the most amount of sacrifice runes um, sort of during the day. And then you would later on you could sacrifice even more often. Um, there is also a strategy where you would do the sacrifice once you are doubling the runes. This is also a valid approach. Personally, on my free-to-play character, I will probably go with this option of doing the doubling because personally I'm not in a rush. I'm not in a hurry, so I will just do it slowly. And with this in mind, I will just uh, pay attention to amount of runes I have and the amount of runes I'm sacrificing. And if I'm doubling the runes, I would then sacrifice. One thing, really, really important tip here, never sacrifice, let's say, late in the evening. The reason for this, I mean, you can sacrifice if you're staying up late, but the point is never sacrifice without building the attractions afterwards, because the amount of money you would earn when you sacrifice is really, really low. So always tend to, when you sacrifice, to build up the attractions to a certain level so that you, during the night, pile up on money to be able to upgrade them in the morning. So always have this in consideration as well. So how it works with the sacrifice and similar. So you can see here that when you turn it on, you would just have one attraction. You need to, I will show it when I sacrifice, but you would have only one attractions and you would be upgrading it. You would be earning money and then upgrading the others. And you can upgrade by one, which means you can see here that it costs 685,000 to upgrade. You can upgrade by 10. You can upgrade by 25, 100, and maximum, which would just use all of the gold until it can upgrade for as much as possible level it can upgrade for that amount of money. Um, so that's the idea. However, you need to know that each of the attractions or the levels of the attractions have breakpoints, and these breakpoints are really important for the amount of money they bring, because at each breakpoint they actually get a significant boost to the amount of money they are earning. So for example, between level 1 and 2, it would earn, I don't know, maybe double the amount. However, I don't know, of course, the exact amount, but let's say double the amount. However, and so goes for the 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, all the way up to 25. But when you upgrade to the 25th level, it would multiply by 4 and not 2. So the breakpoints are the most important, and always try to upgrade the attractions until the breakpoints. You can see here that I did it quite bad because, for example, instead of here doing from 50 to 75, which is costed a significant amount of money, I should have maybe upgraded this one 2 times so that I reached the 250 breakpoint. So from that point of view, always plan your money to reach the breakpoint, and the breakpoint, reaching breakpoint here to 250 would probably yield me more money than having like from 50 to 75 here. So always take this into consideration. The breakpoints are more or less, let's say, doubling, but it goes also, let's say, by the sheer amount of the money you would have, and then also the upgrades you would be able to do. But generally, it goes 25, 50, 100, and then it goes to 250, and then 500, 1000, and again 2500. And generally, these are the breakpoints which you need to take into consideration. So that's when it comes to upgrading. And the difference between these multiplicators, this is just how much you want to level by one. So for example, here you can see if I click, I just upgrade by one, and that's it. Now, when it comes to the sacrifice itself, once you click the sacrifice, it will ask you, are you sure? You do it, you lose all of your progress, but the amount of runes you sacrificed go towards the rune pool you have here, and the amount of money earned, let's say at level 1 by this one, was 1. Now it's 3. The reason for it is because I had 40 runes. 40 runes is 200%, so it increased to 2 and to 3. So this is the idea why at the beginning it's really important to have in mind these uh, amount of sacrifices you would be doing by 20. Later on, it would be measured in millions. So this 20 uh, rounding is irrelevant because you would be sacrificing by million and 350,000 or whatever. So it's not that important. And now, after each 1 minute and 12 seconds, I will get 3. So it will go really, really slow. But in the meantime, I want to explain you what these rune enchantments are. So the rune enchantments, what they bring, and I will share my screen. So here it is. So these are the enchantments which the rune enchantments which you have, and there are a couple of them which are quite important. But also, let's say, more or less all of them you would need in a late gameplay. The amount of runes which you have, starting at 1000, the amount of runes which you have will give you a different amount of bonus. So for example, if we have the XP bonus for quests, they start at 1%. If you would have, I don't know, 10 millions of runes, apologize, if you would have 10 millions of runes, you would get 2% or 3%. The exact percentage, I don't know if there is a formula here available on how it works, but in general, the idea is that it does have a certain breakpoints on how much it would give you. However, bear in mind that each one of the rune enchantments has the maximum limit uh, on the all of your equipment which you can have. So stacking, let's say, 10 items with 5% will not work because the overall bonus is 10%. So you, in a best case scenario, would just have 2 items of 5%, and this would be 10%. Or since this is for the normal items, if you would have one epic item with 10%, you fulfill the limit. You should not have any other XP bonus rune enchantment on your equipment. So you have the XP bonus, you have the gold bonus, you have the increased chance of epics. Again, similar to what I was explaining in one of the previous episodes, this does not mean that you have a 50% of getting an epic item. It just increases the chance, the original chance, by 50%. So if it's 1%, it would be 1.5% to get the epic item improved item quality. This is a really important one. Personally, I did not understand it for a long time what it does. So imagine that you are level 50 and you get an epic item from a whatever source it is, and it is a level 50 item. If you get an items on your equipment which give you improved item quality by 5, you would actually get 5. I don't know if it's exactly 5 levels up, but you would get 5 ranks above the item. So it would not be level 50, it would be better item. So usually when you are hunting for equipment, be it in the legendary dungeon or be it perhaps in the epic shopping spree extravaganza, you equip the items with the improved item quality and then you hunt for the items because the result would be better. Then there are hit points, fire damage, cold damage, and lightning damage. These are weapon enchantments only. And then there is the fire resistance, cold, lightning, and total resistance, which gives you the resistances on your equipment. Um, these on the bottom are really important for the late dungeons because most of the late dungeons actually have an element connected to it. So you either would receive fire damage or you would have to deal fire damage in order to beat dungeon. So it is really important to have this. You see the caps here. So just bear in mind when you are planning the items around. Also, what is also important is because the XP and the gold bonus are specifically for quests, you don't have to have it on your equipment which you are using for pushing the dungeons, fighting in PvP or similar. You can have it on your side equipment. So you would just equip these items when you are doing the quests. Once you finish the quests, you equip them uh, off and put the original equipment, and then you continue pushing the dungeons or similar. There is a mannequin, which is a feature in the game which enables you to easily swap between two sets of equipment. So general, these are the enchants, which is really important to note and for you to sort of take into consideration when planning. Personally, I don't have a single character where I'm perfectly statted for the rune enchantments, but in general, I do have more or less a lot of these to a certain extent. So I might not have 15% hit points, I might have 10. The total resistances, I might have fire and cold, but not lightning or similar. So since I'm not shrooming that much to high extent, then I do not swap the rune enchantments here and there. So I just keep what I get and that's it. But once you have, if you're shrooming, you can sort of swap the rune enchantments between two items, and this would actually enable you to plan exactly the percentages. Um, Back on the game, just to quickly show you how the runes work. So you can, or the money works. So you can see that now we have 18. So you would just click upgrade, and with each upgrade you get, you see actually it's doubling, then by 3. So now I'm earning 9, and with each um, sort of time, 1 minute 12 seconds, now I actually can get a level. What is also important is that the time only changes with the breakpoints. So at the moment it's 1 minute and 12 seconds, but with the breakpoint it would be less than this amount. It would be, let's say, 1 minute. So this is why the breakpoints are also important. So more or less that's it when it comes to the arena manager, especially for a free to play. However, I want to add one more thing which is important for the shroomers is the merchant. The merchant, every 20 hours the merchant gives you a certain offers, and these offers can be one of the three. One is the money boost, one is the speed boost, and the last one is time skip. So the money boost just boosts the amount of money an attraction earns. So for example, instead of 12 it would be earning 15 at level 4. So it's generally works something like having a certain amount of runes in the rune pool, which boosts the 5% arena income. is generally specific for that particular attraction. The second boost is the speed boost, which speeds up the money earning. So instead of 1 minute and 12 seconds, it would be 1 minute. And the third one is the time skip, which gives you possibility to skip time, let's say 7 days or 3 hours. And instead of sort of waiting like this for 1 minute, it would give you the money immediately as if you waited 3 hours. Um, Personally, since I never been a full shroomer, I've been only echo. I would never do the time skip, because this speeds up your arena manager, but it's not a permanent boost. Whilst the speed and the money boost are permanent boosts. And as an echo shroomer, the most common strategy is to boost these two, the last two attractions, both in speed and money, because this is where the most benefit is. This is the two best attractions, as I said, when it comes to the money time ratio. And the to note here is that when you are buying the boosts, the price for the boosts increases, and this is why it's really expensive to get it. It takes 4,600 shrooms, if I'm not mistaken, to upgrade all attractions. So at the beginning it starts with 25, so it's 25 to buy the first boost, whatever it is. It does not depend on the type of the boost. So 25 shrooms, and then 50, and then 75, and then 100. So to get these two for both speed and money, it would take you 250 shrooms to get both of them. So 25 plus 50 plus 75 plus 100. So it is really expensive to get all of these. However, it is still beneficial if you're a echo shroomer to at least get these two. Also here, one good strategy is if you are gonna buy any of the boosts, you can play around and get the offer for that boost, because if you have the offers which merchant gives you are valid only for the attractions you currently have unlocked. So for example, if I would now get offer, the only possibility I could get is the time skip and the seat boosts, so the speed and money boost for the seat, because this is the only attraction I have unlocked. Once I lock this one, then the offers can be time skip, money, or speed boost for either seat or the popcorn stand. So in this case scenario, it sort of dilutes the offers. So what you can do in order to strategize if you want to get the offers for the last two is you put yourself a reminder, alarm, or whatever just before the offers should come. So in 4 hours and 15 minutes, you sacrifice at after 4 hours and 15 minutes, you sacrifice and you build only the last attraction. This one will be built. It would be level 1. It has to be, by default it's open, but you can then build the toilets, and when the offers come 5 minutes later, you would have offer either for the seat or for the toilet, which then of course is a much smaller pool of offers to be chosen from. The same thing you can do with the straying monsters. Bear in mind that this you cannot do at the beginning because you do not have enough rooms or enough money to be able to buy the the attraction, because you can see here one level, the first level costs 5 trillion of money, and I had 7.5 million, if I'm not mistaken, and this is of 5 days, 6 days worth of collecting of money. So it just does not work at the beginning. However, the longer you play, the more you would advance in these. And once you have the possibility to unlock all of these attractions, you can do this strategy. So at the beginning, you would not invest shrooms in anything until you are confident that by one tick, or you can even upgrade this one, but you do not open anything else. So by one tick or more ticks of seats only, you are able to get the toilet money or straying money, which means either 5 trillion or 250 billion. So this is the strategy which I could recommend if you're gonna buy any kind of offers. The same works with the time skip. In order to get the most of the time skip is always focus on having these two attractions leveled up as much as possible, because the time skip considers the attractions you currently have unlocked. So for example, if I have this one unlocked, I would only get time skip multiplied by 30, or yeah, 30, sorry. But if I have this one unlocked, I will have the time skip multiplied by 3 million. Let's say that it turns per one time tick. So from that, or for one cycle. So from that point of view, you would all, again, use the time skip or buy the time skip only if you have these attractions unlocked. So that's it when it comes to the arena manager. I don't have anything else to say. I don't think I skipped anything. This is the most important things of the arena manager. And I would keep upgrading and sacrificing every at least 20 rooms until I get to 1000. After 1000, I will probably then do the doubling strategy, which I mentioned. That's it for this episode, and I wish you a pleasant day and live long and keep on gaming.